Hello and welcome. Welcome to the Little Likac podcast, episode 86. My name is Amanda and I'm coming to you from Derby in the United Kingdom, and this is a knitting and crochet podcast, and you are very welcome. So today is, sounds like we're about to be joined by my little dog, Stu. But I'm afraid, Stu, there is nowhere for you to join me today. The sofa is covered. You are going to just, yes, I know. Yes, good boy. Okay, he's decided to sit himself right by the tripod. And now he's going, come on, Mum, let me up. Stu, bear with me. That's about the only place for you, up there. It's about the only place where there's some room. It's up there. Do you want to say hello? Don't get caught in my jumper. Say hello. What's over there? What's there? He's looking a bit scruffy on his face because we are having to do his hair cutting for him now, because he's got a bit grumpy when we've taken him to the groomers. So we're having to do it, and round his face is very tricky to do. Last night we managed to do most of his all of his body and his belly and his legs. Still got a little bit of work to do around his paws and just around here on his face, because he doesn't like, well, he's very good, but after a while he gets a little bit grumpy and snappy, and so yes, the face has to be done very much a little bit at a time. Anyway, so my name is Amanda, this is my dog Stu, who may or may not make a little bit of an appearance in today's podcast. Oh, Stu, what have you done? I feel like I should start this again, but hey, you know what? This is how it goes in this house. Right, so what was I saying? You're very welcome to my podcast. My name's Amanda. I am a teacher and a yarn dyer, and I live in Derby with my husband, my dog, some chickens out there in the garden, and I have two adult daughters who are both at university, and they come and go from this house as well. They don't live here anymore, but they are often around. All right, calm down. So I have got lots to share with you this week. So my podcast I normally do every 2 weeks, and it's in some ways quite a typical knitting podcast that I share with you what I have made, what I'm working on, what I'm planning to make. Sometimes share a little bit of things to do with the shop, the business, Little Likac, and we have giveaways and we have make-alongs, and it's all good fun. So thank you so much for joining me. I feel like I've said thank you for joining me a million times. If you're not already a subscriber, please do consider subscribing to my channel, and give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, and all of that helps with the algorithm, and so my YouTube channel gets seen by more people. Okay, so shall we start? What was I going to say? Today is Saturday the 1st of February, so I have got also news of my stash busting challenge for 2025. How has that gone for January? Tell you what, I've done better in January than I did the whole of last year, just a heads up. So yes, I've got stash busting figures for you. I have got 2 finished objects, a new cast on, and we are also going to draw the prize winner for December's make-along, for the Socksy and You Know It make-along for the December socks. So lots to go. So actually, let's start with that. Let's start with the Socksy and You Know It make-along. So this is a make-along that I have run all of last year, and now this is the second year that I've been running it. It is for a knitted pair of adult socks. It can be shorties, but they do need to be adult socks, and they do need to be hand knitted, not cranked on a knitting machine. You have you can enter as many pairs as you like. And basically you have like a 2-month window. So if you cast on a pair of socks since the 1st of January 2025, you can enter that into the January thread on Ravelry right up until the end of February. If you can't use Ravelry, or you find it difficult to post a picture on the Ravelry thread, if you send me an email, I will post that into Ravelry for you. And I'm just going to say that it does sometimes take me a while to respond on to takes me a while sometimes to respond to emails, because if you send me an email with a picture of your socks, I don't reply to it straight away to say, yes, I've got that, thank you very much. Because if I do that, in my head, I've kind of finished with it. So I wait until I actually put it into the Ravelry thread. And I tend to do that in batches. So as it gets towards the end of the month, I go back through all my emails, and then I take a screenshot the photo, and then I reply and say, thank you, I've received this, and then I put it into the Ravelry thread. I just find that that works better for me if I kind of do it all in one go at the end of the month. But if I replied to you before, my brain would say, oh, I've already put that into the Ravelry thread. So please don't be offended if you don't get a response from me for a week or two, because that's how I work it. I am beginning to think that I may be neurodivergent in some ways, and I do have to find strategies that work for me to remember things. My memory in particular is bad, and so I have to write things down. I have to I can't say this word. I have to put things into compartments in my brain and in my life, and that's kind of how things work for me. And the more I'm pretty sure both my children are neurodivergent in different ways, and it's occurred to me that I know that neurodivergency runs in families, and the more I kind of research about it, the more I realise that perhaps that's my side of the family that's coming from. Anyway, so yeah, I definitely have to work out strategies that work for me. Right, so it is the 1st of February, so that means it is time for me to cast on my February socks, and we are going to draw the winner from the December thread. Now, also last podcast I drew a winner for the November thread. That person has not been in touch with me yet, so if you entered a pair of socks for the November Socksy and You Know It, then please check the last episode, because I drew a prize winner, and the prize was this this sock yarn, and it was a UK winner. So please, if you live in the UK and you entered and you haven't checked out the last podcast, go back and check, because you could have won this prize. And if I haven't heard from the winner by the time I record again, which is likely to be, it will be just after Valentine's weekend. It will probably be about the 16th, 17th of February. So I haven't heard back from the winner then, I will draw again for that prize. So this month's prize then, that I'm about to draw, if they are a UK winner, they will get these 2 balls of Fable sock yarn in the colourway 911, and this is Drops Fable print, stripes, I think it's stripes up, and obviously it's got pinks and reds in it, and so that will be for the winner of this month's draw. If it is a non-UK winner, if it's international, because of the cost of postage, which is like £10-12, instead of receiving that yarn, you can receive a sock pattern of your choice, up to the cost of £7.50, and I will get that sent across to you, preferably by Ravelry, but if not Ravelry, we'll hopefully try and find some other way that I can get that to you or gift it to you. So let's draw the winner. See, I'm so forgetful, and it just gets worse as I get older. Right, so on our Ravelry thread for December, we had 61 posts. Now, post number 1 is just me saying, here's where you post your December socks. So we're going to ask my smart speaker to help us out to choose a number between, so, do you want to do it, Stu? Choose a number between 2 and 61.
Here's a number between 2 and 61. It's 37.
Right.
By the way, you have a new notification. Do you want to hear it?
No thank you. Just to show you this is real life. Right, 37. I'm going to have to go on to the next page. So, number 37 is this pair of socks from Knit Alley. I'm going to see, sometimes I can see where that person lives. I can't see where they live, they haven't got that information on Ravelry, which is fair enough. So Knit Alley, can you get in touch with me? If you are UK, I will send that sock yarn to you, and if you are international, then you can let me know which sock pattern you would like, and I will get that across to you on Ravelry. Right, okay, so I am also then going to open my yarn for February. So if you're new to the channel and you don't know about this, this is what I do for my socks for each month. Back in November, I wrapped up 12 balls or skeins of sock yarn in wrapping paper, and then I get my husband to put labels on, stickers on for me with numbers. I genuinely have no idea what yarn this is, and so I'm going to open it with you now. And this will be the socks that I work on in February, just plain vanilla socks, but it will probably be self-striping yarn, because I think probably all of these this year again are self-striping, and there's probably the colour purple on there somewhere, probably, because if you can't tell, purple is my favourite colour. So let's see, what do we have? Oh, it is purple. It's a West Yorkshire Spinners Hidden Gem. So purple, and I would pretty much guarantee that that is self-striping, and it is so colourway 871 Hidden Gem, and this is one of the Winwick Mum collections. Now I'm saying then that I think it's self-striping. I'm currently wearing actually a pair of socks in the Winwick Mum series from last year, and whilst they do sort of stripe, they're not like solid stripes, so I don't know with this one whether it will be solid stripes or not. But yes, there we go, that is proper purple, isn't it? What a great start for me. So last ones in January were fantastic sparkly purple and green, and here we go in February with another nice strong purple vibe. Fabulous. So I will get those cast on probably today. So I said I had two finished objects to show you. The first finished object I do not have any longer because they were a gift, and these were a gift for my daughter's boyfriend, who I knitted a pair of socks for him for Christmas. First time he'd had knitted socks, and he really loved them, although he then confessed that he's already lost one of them, but he's pretty sure he's lost one it's in his bedroom somewhere. So I hope he's found it by now. So I desperately tried to get a second pair of socks knitted for him in time to see him for his birthday, which was last weekend, and I did get those finished, so they have been gifted. So I'm going to pop up some pictures here. Here they are, the finished socks. They were knitted in an opal sock yarn, and I knitted them 72 stitches on 2.5mm needles, and they were then just vanilla stocking stitch, heel flap and gusset. So yes, I'm hoping he liked, well, I know he said he liked them when he opened them, so I'm hoping they fit him fine still as well. So that was the first finished object, just plain socks. The second finished object I have actually got here so I can show you as much as I can with the dog on me. This was one of my 12 cast-ons for over Christmas, and in fact I cast this on Christmas Day, and it's knitted in Stylecraft Special Chunky. The colourway is just simply called Purple, and this used just over 4 balls of the 100 grams yarn. Now I had 5 balls, and I predicted that it was only just going to go into the 5th ball, and I was absolutely right. I only needed the 5th ball for the ribbing around one of the armholes. So here it is. It is vest top. It has no shaping, it's quite boxy. I have worn it already at work one day this week. I didn't get any comments on it, but I didn't hear kids sniggering either, so we'll take that as a good sign. I've put these buttons on, which I had in my stash, and they were actually a freebie from a knitting magazine, probably quite a few years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, probably from, I think, Simply Knitting, and I thought they looked really nice size, like the vibe with them. So it is a warm piece, I have to say. I wore it, which day was it? Wednesday or Thursday, which was quite a cold day, and I had a long sleeve dress which had got pinks and purples in it, and I wore that over it, and I did start to get very warm in my classroom, and I took it off, and yeah, it was quite a significant difference. So even though it's sleeveless, it really was keeping me nice and warm, and to the point that I got too warm at one point. So that's my second finished object, and I am pleased with it. I'm not going to say that it's necessarily the most flattering, but oversized and boxy kind of clothes are quite fashionable at the moment, and yeah, I went to work in it kind of going, I hope this is okay, I hope this looks all right, and by the end of the day I felt really comfortable in it. So I mean, I liked it, but you know, obviously when you wear something to work, especially when you work in a school, and kids can be very, very honest about what you're wearing. Brutally honest, if I'm honest. Okay, apologies for that. The husband just phoned. He's gone away for a night. So, just had a quick chat with him. Do you like my new mug, by the way? I bought it for some photos I was taking for the yarn box, Valentine's yarn box, for little Likac. And my husband was like, we don't need another mug. I went, oh no, but I'm not buying it as a mug, I'm buying it as a prop. Sneaky, hey? It's cute though, isn't it? So, what was I saying? I was saying about that second finished object, really, wasn't I? And I think that's all there is to say about that. Oh, I was saying, wasn't I, how kids can be very honest about what you're wearing. I mean, I work with secondary school children, so they should have better social skills than that, but they don't all. Yeah, sometimes their faces tell you more than their voices do anyway. Right, next, what am I going to show you next? What I've been working on. So I finished the vest, and then I had set myself some goals for January, what I wanted to finish. And in fact, where is my journal? I bought this beautiful journal at Christmas. So it's from the Journal Club, and it is, they call it a ready-made bullet journal, and it's just beautiful. It's absolutely fabulous. It's got all these kind of doodles already done for you that you can then colour in if you want, which I do sometimes. And in here, so in fact you can see on here, I did colour it, do some of the colouring. And so in here I write down every evening what knitting I've done that day and what I've been reading, because I've been trying to read more since last summer really. I've really tried to make much more effort reading, and I've got into a good habit now of reading every evening when I go to bed. I also keep track of various things, and just things like, have I remembered to moisturise my face, reading for 30 minutes, 5 portions of fruit and veg per day, etc. But I have also got on here knitting goals. So I set myself in January the task or the goals of finishing the waistcoat, tick, done that, finishing Ben's socks, tick, done that, finish my January socks, tick, done that, and to do 31 lanterns on the Mystical Lanterns blanket. Well, I'll tell you about my progress on that in a minute. And to finish the Storm Seeker socks. Well, given the fact that I haven't got any more finished objects, you know then that I haven't finished the Storm Seeker socks. So I'm going to show you now though where I have got up to on the Storm Seeker socks. So last podcast I had finished one sock, which is here, So we have the completed sock. So how much more have I done on the second sock? Not a lot is the answer. It's cast on and I've done the rib, but that is all I have done. So I have completed the ribbing. The ribbing looks much neater on this one than it does on this one, because on this one I had wound off, I had frogged a project, so this yarn had already been knitted once, and you can tell the difference. I'm hoping once it's blocked it will be better. So these socks are the Storm Seeker socks. Now I'm knitting these for a few reasons actually. So firstly, the actual socks themselves are for charity. They are going to go to the Marie Curie Flower Power Fund, where, what does she call it, the Sock Quest, where a lady who is a doctor at a Marie Curie hospice, or working for Marie Curie hospices, she has a goal every year to have enough knitted socks, preferably in yellow, to make sure every patient in a Marie Curie hospice over Christmas gets a pair of socks. So I am knitting these for this year's 2025 Sock Quest. They are knitted in a truly hooked yarn colourway Fizz Banger, and I received this in kind of a D-stash bundle that I bought, I think during lockdown, to be honest. And the colour is just perfect for the Marie Curie, and they look great in this pattern as well. The Storm Seeker socks are by Kelly Menzies, and so the other reason why I started these in January was that she is doing her Cozy Toes knit along, where you knit one of her patterns. And now originally this was going to be every month, but she has now changed it to every 2 months. And the pattern now for January was the Storm Seeker socks, and then she has a discount for that sock pattern each time. So yes, I've only got the ribbing done, so I have though set myself the challenge for February to get the second sock finished, which I'm sure I will do. Stu, seriously buddy, you can't go over the... Oh! So, the coffee machine decided to the coffee machine decided to switch itself off. The dog decided he didn't want to sit on my lap anymore and wanted to get over to the other side of the sofa where there wasn't enough room for him. Apologies if you win sock yarn from me and it's got dog hairs on it, because the dog has decided to walk across everything. Stu, seriously buddy. Can you stop? This is why I always used to film down in the office. Stop it. I always used to film in our office, which is at the bottom of the garden, but my husband has taken over the office. I could have probably gone down there and filmed today, but it would have meant taking everything down there. If the dog making lots of noise or whatever is annoying, I am very, very sorry. Right, so Storm Seeker socks. Plan is to get the second sock finished by the end of February. Right, what else have I been working on? I mentioned the Mystical Lanterns blanket, and my watch and my phone keeps buzzing with various things. Oh, I'm trying to ignore them all. I am so sorry that I'm getting so distracted. Right, Mystical Lanterns. So I said then that I had a challenge of making 31 lanterns in January, which obviously would mean an average of 1 per day. Well, I've absolutely smashed that. I've completed 47 lanterns. I'm not going to show them all, but just in case you don't know what I'm talking about. This is what each lantern looks like. And I have been very good. I have been weaving in the ends as I go, and then what I do when I finish a strip is I've been going back and snipping the ends and making sure the ones that still need sewing in get sewn in. So I've been very good on that. So I have a slight problem with that one. I'll solve that. So yes, we have now I did 47 of these in January, which means I've got over 60 of them done. I've got 5 full strips, and each of those is 11, so that's 55. 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64. Plus I've got 2 more down there, 66 completed. So yeah, I am nearly halfway on this blanket. So I started this on Christmas Eve. It was actually cast on number 1 of the 12 cast-ons. And I'm just going to keep going, just keep going. So again, I've set myself the challenge of 28 of these to do over, actually I think I put 31 again, bizarrely. But yes, the challenge is to again do at least 31 of these in February. But I'm hoping again I will get a lot more. Why not try and get 50 done? Although February is slightly shorter, I have a week off in February. So, you know, if I'm really honest, in my head I'm thinking I could get 50 of those done. And again, in my gorgeous journal, what I did each time I knitted, finished one, I added it to my square down here. Oh, and you can see what I'm about to tell you next, can't you? But yes, so all these little coloured blocks down here are my lanterns. So yes, if you paused that and saw, you might have seen my stash busting progress for this month. So I will fill you in on that in a minute as well, but I'm just going to put the ribbon there so I can find that page again. Look at this makes me happy. February's yarn, my gorgeous purple planner journal, just makes me happy. So I've been busy working on the lanterns. I'm going to keep cracking on with those. And then, so I was then like, which other cast on shall I work on? Because obviously I had finished the waistcoat, the lace waistcoat. So I asked my daughter, I've made sure I'd got all my projects on Ravelry, and I asked my daughter to pick a number. I don't know, I can't remember how many projects I've got, maybe about 20. So I asked my daughter to pick a number, and the number that she picked when I counted it down on my project page was a Fair Isle vest that I had started on, I think this was number 3 actually, yeah, so I started this on Boxing Day. So, and it is the Nancy vest, knitted in Wensley. Honestly, just dropping everything, throwing it. This is such shambles of a podcast. Sometimes I wonder why I don't have more subscribers. I mean, I'm very grateful for the number I've got. And then I remember that there are podcasts out there where people are polished and professional and smooth. And then I think about mine, when the dog is trying to disrupt everything and I drop things and I forget what I'm going to say. So this is knitted in Wensleydale DK. It is a gorgeous pattern. I saw the actual item at Buxton wool gathering last year, and I bought the yarn for it there. I've changed the colours slightly, and this is how much I have got done. So you can see the first day I got up to here on the first day, which is pretty good considering it was Boxing Day. So I'm going to move that progress keeper. And yes, you can see instead of green, I've gone for a dark purple. I kept the very bright pink. Then they have got on theirs, the light pink that they've been using in contrast. I've got that light pink, but I'm using the light pink for the hearts instead. And then I've gone for a grey as the other contrast colour. So this is Wensleydale long wool, and it's from the sheep shop. The colourway I have got here is shade number 28, Mizzle. We have shade Aubergine, there's no number on that one. This one is hot pink, and this one I think is marshmallow. I'll just double check. I'm pretty sure it's marshmallow. Yeah, marshmallow. So these are the colours that I'm using, and it's coming up beautifully. Now target wise, for February, I've set myself the target to try and finish the front. So I think that is a reasonable target. It's not something I can do a lot on every evening. It's not something that I can do without concentrating. I can't really take it to knit group. It is knitted back and forth, which is also slower when it comes to Fair Isle, or it is for me when it comes to colour work and Fair Isle knitting. But it is beautiful, and I'm absolutely loving the progress. I'm loving the process. So I'm quite happy if this does take me a bit longer to do, because the nature of it, you know, it's all obviously Fair Isle all the way up and down. It's not just, you know, a Fair Isle yoke and then plain stocking stitch. So it does take concentration, but none of it's too complicated. The most complicated one is this one. But the rest of it is relatively straightforward. I don't have it on Knit Companion either, so I'm having to just look very carefully on the chart as I go. So obviously it's got a chart here, but it's just beautiful, and I am really, really loving it. I've got this also in a gorgeous bag, which has very similar colours, which I also bought at the same place, Buxton Wool Gathering, and it's from the Knitting Companion shop. So let's pop. And if you can hear things buzzing, it's because one of my Instagram group chats is being very chatty at the moment, and lots of people are commenting on things on there. Okay, so I do have a new cast on that I was hoping I was going to show you properly today, but it's gone a bit wrong. It's a cowl that I started, and I started it last night, and it's DK weight, and it's called the Imperial Cowl, and it's beautiful pattern by Kath Andrews, and it is only available if you pre-order tickets to the North West Winter Wool Festival, which is in Blackpool in 2 weeks' time, the weekend of the 15th and 16th of February. If you pre-order your tickets, you can download this pattern. Now, unfortunately, the last row that I worked on last night, I've made a mistake on it, and I actually need to, now the pattern comes with videos, and I need to go back and look at the video for that last row that I did. So I'm not going to show you much detail of it at the moment, because I know, or I'm pretty sure, that that last row that I did isn't quite right, and therefore the pattern hasn't come out quite right. So I don't want to show you too much detail. We will have another go. It's not complicated, it's just that I was doing this late at night and I didn't check the video. I thought I knew what I was doing, and I should have looked at the video. The videos are there for a reason. So I'm going to have to go back and check it. However, I'm knitting this in my DK yarn. This is the Abbotsea colourway. 100 grams, DK, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and I have got it on one of my wool spinners. This is one that my husband made specially for me. It's got the little Likac flowers on it. This was again one of his prototype ones, so he was just testing things out, so the flowers haven't come out as dark on them and things like that. He's also changed the tops on these. So again, it's just one of my prototype ones. So yes, unfortunately I have not got this quite how it should be. So, I need to double check. Maybe it is right, but it looks different to the picture, I think. So I don't know actually, now when I'm stretching it out, maybe I have got it right. I need to double check. So anyway, the cowl pattern is available to, what's I going to say? The cowl pattern is available in 2 sizes, and there's an Aran weight or DK weight. So I think now we're moving on to acquisitions. And the first acquisition I've got to show you is very, very special. So about 18 months ago, I was very upset because a sweater that I had knitted for myself got felted when my husband washed it in the washing machine. And I was very upset because it was yarn that I had bought on holiday in Italy. So it wasn't yarn that I could replace easily, and it was a lovely colourwork jumper, and I always got compliments when I wore it, and I'd only had it about a year, and he felted it. And a lovely viewer from this podcast reached out to me and offered to see if they could actually make a bag from it for me. And I sent her the jumper, and she said she'd have a look, and then I didn't hear anything back, and I thought, well, you know, perhaps she's not been able to do it, and I, you know, didn't push it. And she got back in touch with me a week or so ago, said, apologised that it had taken her so long, life had got in the way, as it does, but that she had completed the bag, and I was like over the moon. I said, honestly, it really does not matter how long it's taken, I really appreciate the fact that you've had a go. And so she sent this to me, and when I opened the packet, there's not just one, but there's actually 2 bags. So the first one that is a larger bag that she's made, and here it is. So this was my jumper. I think she's felted it even more, which is absolutely fine. So I think she has felted it down even further, and she's cut it. This was the yoke, and I think this was the bottom of the yoke maybe, actually. And yeah, look, I think that was the ribbing from around the sleeves. Look how amazing that is. So she has felted it, cut it, sewn it, just amazing, and then added more size to the bag by adding this drawstring section up here. And then inside, look at the lining, it's got books, it's amazing. So I just love it. Jackie, you are so clever, so honestly, thank you so much. This is so special. So it's an inside as well, it's got pockets, amazing, absolutely amazing. So thank you so much, Jackie. But that wasn't all. She actually also managed to make a smaller little zipped pouch as well to go with it, and lining in that matches. So it's absolutely amazing. So thank you, Jackie. I nearly cried when I opened it, actually, and I was just like so in awe of your skills. So thank you for making me this beautiful, very special bag set. It's absolutely amazing. There are some lovely people out there, aren't there? Sometimes, you know, when you see the news, it can feel like there's a lot of bad things going on in the world, and then you forget that the vast majority of people are lovely, and we shouldn't forget that. And other acquisitions. So obviously, as I said, I am on a bit of a stash busting challenge this year. Not to use all my stash, that's just not going to happen, and not to say I'm not going to buy anything, because that's not going to happen, but to try and have more out of my stash than in. And January was a very good month for that. I went through my stash at the beginning of the month, and I did take out quite a lot of spare odd balls of yarn I've got. So from finished projects where I'd got maybe two balls of wool left over, some of it was acrylic and things like that, where I had used stuff for a project and got stuff left over, or some of it as well was full pack. So I was kind of going, you know what, I've been in my stash years, I have no particular plans for it. If it's been in there 10 years and I've still got no plans, it's going. So I gave some to charity shop, I gave some to people in my knit group, and gave a little bit to my daughter. And so the totals for this year, this month, is looking fabulous. So, and I have a spreadsheet. So I have donated 12,833 metres out of my stash, and I've also knitted 1,165 metres knitted. So in total, 13,998 metres have gone out of my stash, almost 14,000 metres. Now, not even I would have bought 14,000 metres of yarn into my stash, and I haven't. I have bought, I was given a small ball of Jameson and Smith, which is 115 metres, and then I have bought 2 sock balls of sock yarn at my local yarn store, but these are specific for my husband because he has said that he would like some more knitted socks. So when I looked in my local yarn store, they had a little bit of a sale still on, a few bits still left over from the sale. So I bought 2 balls of sock yarn that I think would be good for my husband. The first one is this, and this is Opal Hunted Vases Werk. Now I feel like I've already told you about these. If I have, I'm going to delete this out. If I haven't, it's just me talking about it now. And this is how it knits up. And then the second one is Superba Fair Isle, colourway 005. And that's how that one would knit up. So these are going in my stash to be knitted at some point during the year for 2 pairs of socks for my husband. So in total I have had 945 metres come in, but I've knitted 1,165 metres, so I've still knitted more than I've bought, so that's good. But if we take into account all the donations to the charity shop and to that I've gifted to other people, I am well over. So yeah, total actually gone out of my stash is nearly 14,000 metres, and my total, as in, you know, how much I've reduced my stash by, is 13,053 metres. Now I can't believe I'm ever going to do better than that in 1 month, but we're going to keep track of it every month so we can see the total for the year. And as I say, I very much doubt that there will be a month that beats that. But yeah, what a great start, to more out than in. Also, one of the yarns was a full pack of 10 100 gram skeins, so a kilogram, and I did actually sell that one for a little bit of money. And I've put that into an account as well, because what I'm going to try and do as well is try and reduce the amount of spend on yarn, potentially. I mean, again, I usually, when I go to Yarndale or anything like that, I do take money that I've saved anyway, but I thought, right, that can go into the yarn purchase stash as well, yarn purchase account. So yeah, I feel really, really pleased though, and it may be that later in the year I have another look at my stash, and there may be some other bits go as well. And obviously there's this still to be claimed, that will be going out of my stash. So yes, let's say I will be surprised if I beat January. Okay, so I think that is the kind of the content for what I've been making, etc. But I'd love it if you stuck around. I just want to show you the Mystery Club yarn for Little Likac for the January Mystery Club. I had been waiting to show this because due to some what's the word I want, some hold-ups in Royal Mail in one certain area of the country, I knew for a fact that there was somebody who still hadn't received their yarn, and so I was being quite cautious about showing. But this is the mystery box for January for the Little Likac. The February one, the close-ups actually finish on the 2nd of February, so you may have missed out on the February one as well. But having said that though, I have got a couple of spare January ones that I am going to pop into the shop and list them under January of the main skeins, and it may be that I have a few spare of the February, because what I'm trying to do is make sure I've got a couple of spares done, so that if anything gets lost, I've got spares to send out. So this is the packaging. It comes in this box that my husband has very carefully printed on for me. And there is, in this one, there's both the main skein and the minis, but actually that's what you buy, either the minis or the main skein. So we have in here, you get the inspiration picture and the inspiration colours, and then we have a stitch marker that comes with it. This one was a little bottle of poison for the stitch marker, because the yarn club was it's all Agatha Christie Poirot themed for the year, and this one was The Mysterious Affair at Styles. And without giving too much away, a bottle of poison, or poison is important. You get a little extra gift, and in that book as well, hot chocolate or cocoa is mentioned and is important. So you got a sachet of Cadbury's hot chocolate. You also get an exclusive mini mystery. So you get a very short little story of like a little cozy mystery detective short story, and there's a different one each month. And then this is the yarn. So depending on which box you ordered, this is the 100 gram skein, and this is available in both DK weight 225 meters or 4-ply weight 400 meters. And so this was the colorway for the 100 gram skein, and you can see kind of goes with this color in the middle, but it has also got some elements of that yellowy color there. Not so much of the dark actually, but certainly those two colours really come through on the 100 gram skein. And if you ordered the mini skeins, then you get the darker one, then this one, and this one. So these were the colours for the mini skeins. Now this one I kept for myself is the DK weight. So again, this was available in DK weight or 4-ply weight fingering. And so I'm going to keep these. These are going to be for mine. And I think I'm planning on starting a blanket with them. I just can't decide which blanket. There are no spares of the minis, but there are, I think, 2. I just need to double check. I think there's going to be 2 of the 4-ply fingering weight January ones available that I'll put back in the shop. So tomorrow I'm planning on dyeing the February's. So there will be, once the February ones have all landed as well, and I know that they're all there safely, there will probably be a few spares of the February one going in potentially. So if you're interested in that, that's on in my Etsy shop. Thank you so much for everybody who has ordered them. I was blown away by the number of orders in January. Then I was very, very nervous once they were sent out, because you kind of think, well, people don't like it, they won't order February's, but actually I've had more orders for February than I did for January, so that's just amazing, and some lovely, lovely reviews. Thank you. And yeah, so my husband has been very busy. I've had to order lots more boxes. My husband's been very busy engraving and printing those ready for February's. I've nearly finished the story. So yes, I'll be dyeing up the yarn tomorrow, and then next weekend we will be packaging these and getting them out into the post office as well. But yeah, absolutely blown away. Thank you so much for everybody's support on those. If you haven't already seen as well, some of my husband's new makes are gone into the shop. So we've started by just putting in some stitch markers that he's made. We've got some very cute sheep, llamas, and this gorgeous little set which has got a sock, hat, mittens and jumper. So they are available in the shop as well. They come in a tin which has also got either the sheep or a llama, etc. engraved on them as well. So yes, please do have a look at that. We've had our first orders for those. There's also a Valentine's themed yarn spinner that my husband's made as well, which is really cute. So those are in the shop now as well. And I will be adding more of his wooden items as well over the next few weeks. And when we go to the Northwest Winter Wool Show, I will definitely be taking some of his items there as well. So yeah, he's really enjoying the process. I just need to get more photos done and get them listed onto the shop. Thank you so much for watching. If there's anything in particular as well that you would like to see with my husband's wood designs, then let me know and I can pass that on to him. And yeah, thanks for your continued support, and I will see you all in a couple of weeks. Happy knitting, everybody. Bye.